All right. By a show of hands, how many of you would pay $80 to $90 for a pair of jeans that look like you were drugged behind a car down an alley? Exactly. That's why today I'm going to show you how to get that vintage pair of destroyed jeans for less. You should listen because mixed with personal creativity and my 4 easy steps, you can have jeans that have paint all over them for very little money. I'm very credible because I've made several pairs of these and they've been a real hit with Versace, Gucci, and Vera Wang. The 4 main points I'm going to talk about are gathering and preparing your supplies, rip and fray, paint and streak, and dry. Your first step is to gather your supplies, which are a pair of jeans, the iron, which I did not bring because that's a fire hazard, your paint or bleach. Today we're going to use acrylic paint. And if you use paint, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to water down the paint. So we have our water. And if you use bleach, use a spray bottle, like any sort of spray bottle, and water that down a little bit, and appliques. Once you have the supplies, you're ready for the first step, which is ripping and fraying, which you can use your scissors and any sort of knife. I'm using a box cutter for today's demonstration. So I'll quickly show you how to cut the jeans. What you want to do is whenever you're cutting the jeans and ripping and fraying, there are different areas that you want to rip and fray. You can either rip and fray in areas that you want attention, so like if girls, you want your booty to be noticed, put some rips and frays on your booty. Or rip and fray in natural areas. So we're going to do a rip and fray on the knee today. So what you're going to do is, what's easiest is just to take the fabric like so, fold it so you can get the scissors in there. Just give a little cut, like that. See it right there? And then just follow this along. It doesn't have to be straight because we're going to go back in and fray it up. And you cut like that, a little rip. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go back and fray to give it a natural look. So you take your knife, or you can take the end of a scissor like this, and you just take it back in, and you work it over the area to get the different threads to come out. And it might take a while, so you just have to work on it. And you work on the edges like that. And it'll fray it and give it a look somewhat like this, with the different threads coming out. So once you've ripped and frayed, you're ready for your next step, which is painting and streaking. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your acrylic paint, which today we're going to use white, and you can use any sort of craft paint. I would suggest something that's not going to wash off because that would be bad to do all this work if it's just to wash off. So put a little paint in a cup, and then mix just a little bit of water because it's going to make it easier to splatter. Take your paintbrush, give it a few happy swirls. Then wipe a little bit of the excess off on the sides, and you're ready to streak. Now, when you're ready to streak, which is the painting streaking, not naked streaking, you want to streak in 2 different areas, which is on the seams, on the sides, or you can do it by the rip to make sure it draws all the painting together. You can really streak anywhere you want to, but we're going to do it right here. So what you do is you just take your paint and you just run it around the edges like so. You just go around the rip, or if you're going to do it on the seams, you can start up here by pocket, and you can paint downwards, you can paint up, you can paint on the pocket, like so. Do any sort of design, anything that you want. Once you've streaked, you're ready to splatter. So put on some good 80s tunes, maybe a fanny pack or 2, and get ready to splatter paint. It works best if you have something that you can splatter against, and I suggest that when you splatter around the rips or where you just streaked to give it a final look. But I'm going to show you how to splatter. So you just barely tap it like that, like so, and you have splattering. And you can give that splatter a friend on the other side, on the butt, pretty much anywhere you prefer. And when you splatter, you get a look like this. Splattered right here. You might want to avoid splattering in this area or this area. It's just not going to look the way you want it to. So now you've streaked, you've ripped and frayed, you've streaked and splattered, now you're ready to dry. There are 2 different ways that you can dry. You can air dry, you can blow dry, but whatever you do, do not use machine dry because it's going to tumble all the paint together and it's also going to get on the inside of your dryer. So in conclusion, by following these 4 easy steps of ripping and fraying, splattering and streaking, and drying, and gathering your supplies at the beginning, You can get that vintage look for the vintage price without paying $80 for that pair of jeans. Thank you.